The problems from JEE Mains conducted today from the morning session. So just I'll give you exposure of problem and let's quickly go through it. So first question was 8 equals 3 plus p by 4 plus 1 so square. Till infinity we need to find the value of p. It's a straightforward problem because you can break the series as 3 plus 3 by 4 plus 3 by 4 square. So that's GP number 1. We can take 4 common. We can take p common and we have 1 by 4 plus 2 by 4 square. Plus we'll have 3 by 4 cube. And so on and so forth. So clearly this GP is a by 1 minus r, and this you can do by AGP. So you can take this as x, multiply with common ratio 1 by 4x and subtract both the equations. Then you'll get a GP and directly we'll solve this. So it was just a question. If you'll calculate, you'll get answer as now. Let's move to the second question. This is from complex number. So we have to find the number of points such that these equations is valid. So clearly we can see geometrically I is a fixed number, we have minus I and we have got 1. So we want a complex number in, of course, 2D plane such that is distance from these 3 points are same, because this represents distance of z from minus I, this is distance of z from I and from 1. So clearly there is just a single point on this plane whose distance from all these 3 will be equal, and that is circumcenter. So number of points will be 1. So it was also an easy question. Third problem is fx equals matrix. The first statement is f of minus x equals inverse of fx, and second statement is f of x into f of y is f of x plus y. So they have given 4 options as asked from the students, whether you have to check whether S1 is correct, S2 is incorrect, and all the combinations. One way is directly you can put f of minus x and check the inverse, right? You put f equals minus x and check f of x into f of minus x is coming to be identity matrix. If you do so, you will get it. Again, you can put f of x, f of y, and you can verify like both statement is true. So S1 is 2, S2 is 2. The other short way of doing this problem would have been, if you would have recognized this represents a rotation matrix. We discussed this usually in the class in matrix chapter, and this was just they are making 1 is the significance for these entries 0, 0, 1 in this, like it is rotation along xy plane, right? Like with respect to z axis. So we already know in a rotation matrix, this matrix will take a vector and it will rotate to an angle x, right? So f of minus x is basically it will rotate to minus x. So f of minus x into f of x is undoing the rotation. So clearly we can tell like first statement is true. Similarly, the first one is rotating by x, second is rotating by y. So overall is rotating by x plus y. So it's nothing but e to the power I theta version of this plus I theta 2 equals e to the power I theta 1 into e to the power I theta. So this is purely a standard questions which physically also you could have saved time and done in 10 seconds. Next question was from AP and very typical AP problem. It came repeatedly in last years, moreover in mains and advanced. So we have an AP with first term and number of terms given, second terms and number of terms given. You have to find common number of terms. So you know like first term, you can easily see it's 9 and common difference will be LCM of common difference of 2 AP. So first was having common difference 5, second is 3, so this common difference is 15. Hence general term of the AP which is formed by common of AP1 intersection AP2 can be written as 9 a plus n minus 1 into common difference. And now this should be less than the last term of first one and last term of 37th one and whichever is minimum, right? So directly you'll get the value of it. Next is from integration, a straightforward integration problem where just you need to rationalize. So we can put 3 plus x minus root over 1 plus x, root 3 plus x minus root 1 plus x, and this quantity will be just 2. And rest you can integration because it's direct integration. Either you can put x plus t as t square by using this substitution, similarly solve other by u square substitute, or you can directly use the formula if you know. Next question is from function. Again a good question but medium level. A function is starting from operating from natural number, okay, except 1 perhaps it was, and going to natural number except 1, right? And f of x is defined, so this is codomain and this is basically this is domain and we have this as codomain. Now f of x is defined largest prime factors of n, then f is many 1 into or 1 1 on 2, and so 4 options were there. The correct answer was many 1 into. It's very beautifully you can solve just by playing with some values. So f of 2 will be 2, f of 3 you can see largest prime factor of n which is okay. So f of n is largest prime factor. So f of 2 is largest prime factor of 2, which is 2. F of 3 largest prime factor of 3, which is 3. F of 4 largest prime factor of 4. So prime factors of 4 is just 1, 2. Right? 4 is not prime number, it's composite number. So largest is 2. So clearly f is many one function. Again, you can see like all the values will not come into pictures. Okay, so hence it's into, because we will not get 1. Next is from binomial theorem, or you can tell basics of permutation and combinations. NC r minus 1 equals k square minus 8 n plus 1 cr. So if we'll do this, similarly k square minus 8 is nothing but NCR minus 1 divided by n plus 1 CR. And after cancellation, you get R by n plus 1. Okay, and now we already know R value can go maximum up to n and minimum up to 0. So this quantity will go maximum up to, you know, like n by n plus 1 and minimum up to 0. So accordingly, there is a restriction on R, right? So R must be less than equal to n minus 1 and R minus 1 must be less than n from this point. So R must be less than n plus 1. So if R is less than n plus 1, so maximum what this can go is up to 1, right? And similarly minimum it can go to 0. So we can basically restrict the RHS of this. We can basically restrict this, and accordingly we'll get a restriction on k. So k square will be 8 plus that restriction, so k goes from. Next question was a bit challenging. Which was vertices of a triangle is given 2, 1, 3, 1, 5 by 3, 2 by 3, and orthocenter is a, b, and then they have linked the question with the integration. So they have defined a to b some integral and a to b other integral. Now just by looking at the integral, you can doubt like sine of 4x minus x square is there, and here we have extra x. So usually I have told again and again, like King's rule is the heart and soul of definite integration. So we must expect a plus b something such that that becomes 4, right? Because this quantity itself is symmetric about x equals 2. X square, 4x minus x square, if we differentiate, we'll get 4 minus 2x, x equals 2. So in fact, you can find orthocenter. So these 3 points are given. We know orthocentrally the point a comma b, so that slope of this into slope of this equals minus 1. Similarly, slope of this into this is minus 1. So it's not surprise that you'll get a plus b equal to 4. That was evident from the very design of the question. Okay, because if x is replaced about 4 minus x, this quantity will not change, right? So that hint was evident from this. If someone were smart, he would have done this. Directly use King's rule in I1 and then add with I2, and we are done with the problem. Next question is from trigonometric equation, and again it's a standard problem. It says cos 2x plus a sin x equals 2a. We need to find the range of a for which solution exists. Now clearly, you know, like this quantity will dance from a square plus 1 to minus root a square plus 1. So 2a must dance from here. So basically 2a must be, you know, like, so now we can basically take this inequality. So for a positive, definitely this will always be greater than this, right? So 4a square is less than equal to a square plus 1. This is for a positive. Even 0 is allowed. So we have 3a square less than equals 1. So a belongs to minus 1 by root 3 to 1 by root 3. Coupled with this, one of the answers that we are getting is 0 to 1 by root 3. If they would have given positive a, then it will be 0 to 1 by root 3. If it is negative a, then we can even find for a negative. We can, you know, like change the sign of inequality. So a square plus 1 will be greater than 4a square, and accordingly you can find, and hence find p and q. Next question was from circle, and it is the easiest problem, I guess, from the entire paper. So we have a circle passing through 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. So these are 3 points. The 4th point is also lying on that. We have to find the value of k. Now clearly, you know, 3k, 2k, 3k, 2k will lie on the same circle. So equation of this circle is known in diametric form: x into x minus 1 plus y into y minus 1 equal to 0. Just make 3k and 2k satisfy this. So 3k into 3k minus 1 plus 2k into 2k minus 1 equals 0, and we are getting value of k. Next question is from again conic section ellipse, and it was extended question and they have resorted to the facts. Is good news, like they have not asked tangents directly. Although if you would have known the tangent, you could have solved in a faster way. So chord length you have to find for this ellipse if the midpoint is given. So midpoint of a chord is 1 comma 2 by 5. So equation of chord having midpoint is this, is nothing but t equals s1. Once you know t equal to s1, we know the equation of this line. You know how to find chord length, so you can use that trick, root over 1 plus ma square into mod x1 minus x2, where what is x1 and x2? Let's say equation of this line is y equal to mx plus c. Clearly we know m and c because t equal to s1 equation will give that. So if I'll solve this with ellipse, it will have two root, right? x1 y1 and x2 y2, where m is the slope of that chord. So this value is known. x1 minus x2 we can find easily with x1 plus x2 whole square minus 4x1 x2, and this is done. If you don't want to use the condition for tangent, then you could have used even parametric form. So this point is given, you could have taken r and theta as the inclination. So move 1 plus r cos theta comma 2 by 5 r sin theta and put in the equation of ellipse. Okay, like both equation 1 plus minus, because this point will be 1 minus. To equation 2 unknown, you will directly find the value of r1 and r2. Okay, but the beauty was once you plug this information in the equation of ellipse, this quantity is r1 and this is geometrically minus r2. So what we need, if we add directly r1 plus minus r2, we'll get a wrong answer. So we have to find r1 minus r2 because that's the length. Okay, so difference between root of the quadratic. So generate the quadratic in terms of r and directly find the difference of root. And how to find the difference of root? Sum of root whole square minus 4r1 r2. So calculation will be minimum. Next question was again from coordinate geometry and it is again a basic question. So there was a line 5x plus 4y equals 20 and there are two lines passing through origin which trisects this line. Trisects means these three lines are equal. Okay, we need to find the angle theta. So very extended question where the point of trisection we can easily find because we have 0 to 5. So this point, because along x-axis we have to divide this into 3 parts. Similarly, the y length is divided into 3 parts. So full length was 5. So this is going to be 5 by 3 ahead, 10 by 3, and that's 15 by 3. Similarly, the y coordinate will be full length is 4. So it's 4 is divided into 3 parts. So one length is 4 by 3, 8 by 3, and then we have 12 by 3. So coordinate of this is known 5 by 3, 8 by 3. Similarly, 10 by 3, 4 by 3. Once you know coordinate, you know the slope of this line. So m1 is 8 by 5, m2 is 4 by 10. Once you know these two values, then theta is directly done because you can use m1 minus m2 by 1 plus m1. So I think you have enjoyed, and you see, like overall I'll tell the paper was much easier than the previous one, but still since I have not solved most of the questions till the last, so it's easy to tell it easier, but of course you need to invest your time. But comparatively to with 2023, this session was definitely easier one, and moreover a good news was JEE has not asked any question, probably at least for this session, which they have taken away from the syllabus. So they resorted to their strict idea of syllabus. Okay, for the upcoming students, definitely it's a good news because now the paper is kind of balanced. So even if some lengthy questions comes, don't panic because most of the questions are easier or